Northern California Career Pathways Alliance, NCCPA, was created to test the hypothesis that a regional focus on workforce development with strong county teams and a common goal of creating pathways with work-based learning and career hubs in high schools would significantly impact each county's and the region's capacity to engage and prepare students in high school through the community college to address regional workforce opportunities.
This was a grant where they asked us specifically to focus on integration, integrating career tech education programs with core academic, and build those kinds of integrated programs. Project-based learning was key, work-based learning was key, engaging with industry partners, being able to work very closely with and on the transitions from high school to post-secondary, that those things are smooth and meaningful for students. We have an opportunity to build relevance in all of education, not just career tech education courses, but every course.
Yeah, I have 18 different trades in the room, and it is career pathways at its finest. The career is construction, but the pathways go off to every subcontractor or sub-trade from electrical, wall framing, roof framing, green construction.
The majority of my time these past 3 years that has not been spent at school has been spent at the farm working on the sheep enterprise. Through this enterprise, I have learned all types of animal husbandry and farm management practices, as well as teamwork and leadership, all skills which will help me succeed in my future endeavors.
Well, I've really wanted to be an engineer all my life, and so I like to take things apart and build it, and I know a big part of this curriculum is building things. And so I thought this would be a good base for learning how to engineer and starting with the machine level and moving on towards more advanced things as well.
Biotech is a really hands-on class, and you're not just sitting there writing out of a textbook and taking notes for the entire period. You're actually physically going into the lab and you're learning new things every day. It's always a new lab, it's always a new topic, and it keeps you on your feet, and it's interesting.
I've taken the Intro to Ag Mechanics class where I learned basic welding skills, basic woodworking skills, and basic electrical skills along with basic plumbing skills. Through this pathway, I have discovered a love for welding, and I am planning on furthering my education to eventually find a career in welding.
So we have 2 classes in our pathway. We have a Sports Med 1 and a Sports Med 2. Sports Med 1 focuses a lot on anatomy, and anatomy as it pertains mostly to sports injuries, diseases and disorders that might impact an athlete.
Well, I've learned how to tape, and I've learned more about the anatomy and the physiology aspect of it and rehab plans. So as an athlete, you learn how to take care of your own body and help out your other teammates.
I've always had an interest for building things and taking things apart and putting them back together. And when I go off to college, I want to be an engineer, so I feel like taking this robotics class and going through the process of building a robot will really allow me to get a head start on that and really be able to gain some of the knowledge that will let me do that in the future.
We learned dissections, phlebotomy, how to assess patients, and anything else to deal with medical vocabulary, the basic anatomy of humans, everything.
I love how hands-on it is, because I'm a more hands-on learner, so the way that she teaches, we do our notes and stuff, and then we get to do hands-on, which really helps the learning process and helps us all remember what we're actually doing.
Well, my ambition in my life is to be a video game designer, so this is simply a stepping stone on my way to my dream job.
We actually have learned a lot about general coding logic and how that works as well. That I feel like I could apply that outside of this if I needed to.
I like architecture in general, so I enjoy everything that we do in the class a lot. I have a lot of passion for it, so just everything that we do brings me a lot of joy, and I just get really lost into the whole project, so I'm really happy about it.
Editing is such a huge skill for everything you do in life. People that know how to use it, there's a lot of people that don't even know how to use computers, but the way our life is going with computers and cameras, those are just great skills to have. Just make you more experienced for the rest of life. So I would 100% suggest this class to anybody that's thinking about taking it.
A big part of this class is soft skills. They do learn how to talk to people, and so sometimes it's over the telephone, sometimes it's face to face, but they actually have to interact.
like customer service and stuff. Like if like a teacher brings in the car, I have to talk to them, and I learn how to talk to customers and stuff if I ever get a sales job or something.
This class, honestly, it takes a lot of time. So a lot of the times we're in here at lunch, after school. Most of the time whenever we have a break, usually we're in here for like the entire day over break. But yeah, like things like that, it requires a lot of time management.
This pathway has made me college and career ready by teaching me important qualities for an employee, such as punctuality, being a team player, being organized, having creativity, and having a passion for what you do.
Floral Design, which is a UC approved course, and the curriculum essentially is, it's a lot of art, it's a lot of career tech, and it's a lot of hands-on skills that they wouldn't be getting in other classes, in general ed classes. They get to do a little bit of math and budgeting, and they get to work with other people, and at the end of the year they actually get to plan larger floral design events that are actually applicable to the floral industry as a whole.
I think robotics is a great opportunity to meet people and learn new things, and it's really a tight-knit family that brings everyone together in different ways, and everyone is accepted.
I think the number one thing that I learned is teamwork, because when you're working in the robot, you can't do anything by yourself. Even if you're trying to coordinate an outreach event, you must work with other people. So I say teamwork helps you to work with other people well, and that can help you in the business field in life.
I think one of the most important things that I've learned is how to dress professionally and be interviewed, and as well as we did resumes and cover letters, which really helped with our internship the next year.
It's a really fun class. When I got into it, at first I was a little hesitant, but when I started taking it, I learned a lot of things about measuring, which is something I never really knew how to do, and that's a really good life skill to know. I think everyone should know how to measure.
Some classes, you know, if you're in your basic math class, you just do fractions and you don't even know what a fraction is. They don't say, oh yeah, you know, it's part of a pie. It's not real world. This is real, you know? They say cut a piece of wood at 16 and 9/8. You're like, okay, 9/8. Whatever, improper fraction, but you know.
I took graphics my junior year to get my credits for graduation. While taking this class, I realized I loved it and started to really focus on my designs. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, including my college career, until I realized how good and interested I was with graphics. I applied to an art school to pursue graphics and hopefully continue in the future. This class has given me the opportunity to see what I can really do with my life and how I can continue.
Because of the professionalism and internship class, I was able to intern at TEM Machine Shop. I've always loved working on things. I've always been good with my hands. Once I got into cars, I quickly realized how fascinating and mechanically entertaining this world could be. I feel confident that with continued education and training, I could make a living doing it.
And it's really interesting because, like, for the school, we've kind of talked to like architectures, the DLR group. They actually designed our library. But we've talked to them, they showed us a lot of their floor plans and some of that stuff, so we've really seen from the industry standpoint how this stuff goes down and how it's supposed to look. So it's kind of cool, considering you're in high school and you get to experience this kind of stuff. So
it really brings the outside industry and current practices into the classroom, and the kids can see, wow, I can do this. I can go and work in this particular environment after I graduate from college or graduate from an apprenticeship or move on into higher education of some sort.
Ultimately, the need is for high school students to understand what is available to them after graduation and then know how to access it. By providing pathways, academies, and certificate programs, we have created a stronger pipeline and more entry points into the community colleges.
The trick was to take a look at what was going on in the high schools and be able to map and align our programs with the high school programs. So doing that, we brought faculty together. So it created relationships with the high school faculty and the college faculty, which has really maintained since then and created a whole bunch of opportunities for collaboration.
Each school has a college and career-ready hub to connect students to these pathways, as well as current information on local career opportunities. And because of this, several community colleges have reported increased enrollment for students coming out of high school. The impact on the local or regional economy is promising because we are working better as a larger system. The number of industry partners has increased, and these partners are working more closely with instructors at the high school and community college levels. The industry partnerships are changing students' high school experience. Students are seeing the connections between what they are learning and what is needed for a career.
Well, in partnership with NCCPA for the last 3 years delivering the SunPower Solar Energy Academy, we have been able to bring students from multiple pathways like engineering and construction and kind of green technology together to have a work-based learning experience and look through the lens of 4 different career paths. What was key was being able to access the schools and the right students and the right teachers who we train. So the big benefit was having this collaborative co-managing, co-planning so that we could have students have this amazing work learning experience. And to date, we've had about 200 students go through the program.
Previously, we worked in silos. We now work more like a Venn diagram with a focus on the center area that draws us all together. We've learned that there are things that we can do together when we have a common purpose across organizations that are difficult to do alone. Through the formal NCCPA collaboration, there has been more institutional sharing of practices, more exposure to what could be possible, and more learning from the experience and best practices in the region. Providing funding to high schools, county offices of education and community colleges to provide the staff support, release time, and equipment needed was critical for removing barriers to pathway development. When the individual institutions have the resources they need, the time they need, and a reason to get together to achieve a common focus, then progress on pathways is made. Regional funding is needed to generate synergy when the 3 agencies work together as partners on a shared focus. Through NCCPA, we developed common definitions for work-based learning and pathways that helped us to align what we provide across organizations. The articulation, mapping, and pathways are the backbones of the work.
I think one of the biggest challenges is this is not easy work. It's hard work. We have to identify the occupations that exist in our communities that are growing, provide relevant and good labor market information for our students and our career seekers throughout our communities. We have to identify the career pathways and fit those occupations into meaningful career pathways and identify the education opportunities that will move someone along in their career pathway. That's not easy work. It takes a lot of technical work, a lot of communication, and we just have to put our heads down and get it done because I think it's important in the long run.
NCCPA was created to be a game changer for the region. With 3 years of implementation, most of the NCCPA students and future employees are still in the pipeline. In 2017, there were 3,988 students enrolled in 58 NCCPA high school pathways aligned to occupations with employee demand. There are 5,551 community college students enrolled in the 34 NCCPA aligned pathways. Based on rates of participation, further development of pathways across institutions, and the power of partnerships throughout the counties, NCCPA has been a game changer that will continue to benefit the region. We've just scratched the surface on the potential for pathways and the power of the partnership.